The word for you today, we're continuing about relationships. Jesus is speaking in Matthew 19:5, and he says, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh." God gave us the gift of marriage. In our world, people are quick to give up on relationships if they're not getting what they want. Oftentimes, we don't think about so much about giving to someone else as we think about getting what we want. So how can we be more committed in our relationships, particularly in our marriage relationships? Well, first, work on it every day. Work on it every day. That sounds very unromantic, doesn't it? You think of marriage, you think of romantic things, but work on a marriage, yeah, it's important. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. I don't feel like brushing my teeth every day, but you know what? I do it. Why? Well, so people don't complain so much about bad breath, but I know that it's good for me. And it's the same way in a marriage. Work on it, whether you feel like it or not, because it's good for you. And there's going to reap benefits. Just like brushing your teeth means less trips to the dentist, hopefully, or less cavities. So work on it every day, your marriage. Second thing, be creative. Find new ways to do old things that you enjoy, doing them a different way. Go to dinner at a place you wouldn't normally go to. Maybe eat outside rather than inside. Talk. Put your phones away and talk during the meal. Spend a night in the hotel in the city that you live in. You think, well, that's wasteful. It may be, but it's an investment in the relationship. Do something different. Just do something different. Be creative in experiencing things. So work on it every day. Be creative. Appreciate your spouse. Every day, let them know something you appreciate about them. You say, but we've been married for 50 years. Okay. What do you appreciate about them? Every day, find something. You know, one night, Rhoda and I had gone to bed, and we were laying there, and I was thinking about that, and I said, I was thinking about this, and how have I shown you today that I love you? What have I done to show you that I love you? And there was this silence, so I figured she probably went to sleep. She wasn't sleeping. I said, "Are you awake?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm thinking." Need to do better at that, huh? Obviously, I need to do better. But appreciate your spouse. Do things for them and let them know ways that you appreciate them. The fourth thing, take control of your mind, because what we think of is eventually what we're going to do. Don't let your thoughts go to somebody else. Yes, thoughts about other people will come into our minds, but don't allow them to stay there. Remove that. Put your thoughts on your spouse. A fifth thing, accept your spouse for who they are. Everybody has faults. Believe it or not, even you. Everybody has faults. You know, the old saying, the grass looks greener on the other side of the fence. Well, if you want to trade in your model for a different model, guess what? Sooner or later, that model is going to have faults that you're going to have a really hard time living with. So stay with the one that you have that relationship with, the history with. It's worth it. It's worth it. Sixth thing, be honest and vulnerable. That means opening up, sharing the deepest things about you. And when you open up and you share those deep thoughts, your fears, your hopes, your dreams, that pulls you closer together. But this can only be done if you trust the person. And if you don't trust them to open up and share those deep things, that's a huge red flag. And you need to be working on that. Maybe you need help from someone else, but you need to be working on that. And the seventh thing is physical intimacy. If this is missing in a marriage relationship, you need to work on that because it's essential. It's essential to a good relationship in a marriage. And if you're going to commit to the relationship, you need to work on it every day. You need to be creative. You need to appreciate your spouse. Take control of your mind. Accept them for who they are. Don't expect them to be something that they're not. Be honest and vulnerable. Open up. Let them see your very heart. And then the physical intimacy part. That's so important. You remember in Matthew chapter 20, Jesus told the story of the vineyard. he hired some early in the morning, probably about 6 a.m. Then he hired, this owner of the vineyard, hired some people at 6 a.m. Then he hired some people at 9 a.m. And then at noon, then at 2, and then at 3, and then at 5. And then when the day ended, he paid them all the same. And the ones that had been working all day were really mad that the people who only worked an hour got paid as much as they did. And the owner of the vineyard says, isn't it my money? Aren't I free? Was I dishonest with you? Was I unfair with you? Didn't we agree that you would work today for this price? Forget them. Don't compare them with you. Was I fair with you? And you know, it's the same way in a marriage relationship. Sometimes you feel like you've been working all day long and they've only been doing 1 hour worth of work in the marriage. It's going to be those days. But when you get married, that's what we sign up for. We sign up to helping that person be the happiest person on the face of the earth. And it's not about them making you the happiest person. That's going to happen most of the time if you do that. But we can only control what we can control. We are to be the person doing what we're supposed to do. And we can only do that if we're committed to the relationship. So let me ask you, in those areas, working on it every day, creativeness, appreciate your spouse, take control of your mind, accept your spouse for who they are, honesty and vulnerability, physical intimacy. Is there one or two of those you need to work on today? Pick one of them. Pick one of those that you say, I'm not doing very well at that, and work on it today. Why? Because you want to be committed to your relationship. Have a good day.